Across the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Throwback series. You are listening to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am your host, Ryan Doze, and today we are finally at Journey into Mystery Annual #1. And I have brought back our guest from last week. Eric Bennett is back to talk about the first modern Marvel appearance of Hercules. So Eric is back. How's it going tonight, Eric?
It is going great, and this is a heck of an issue to be here to talk about.
You know what? You may have even undersold it. This is an awesome story. I mean, it's a complete slug fight. It's two bruisers just going at it for so many pages, and there's some great banter, some great dialogue. It's so much.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're right. It's a very fun read. Maybe we've already given away our answer to read it or leave it. But this is a special kind of episode. It's a special kind of issue in the history of Thor. This is an annual issue. So our normal numbering that we've been going through one by one, we did a 121, we did 122, we did 123, and now we're at annual 1. So if you're a new fan, or maybe you're not familiar with how comic books work, we're going to just explain a little bit of what that is, what the purpose of annuals are. This is, on the cover, it even says this. It's 72 big pages. This is a special king-size annual issue. This is there's an original story, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, the clash between Thor and Hercules, but there's also 4 reprinted stories for whoever bought this for the high price of 25 cents in 1965, I believe.
If only.
Right? You're like, if someone told me today, hey, would you like 72 pages of Thor comics for a quarter? I think I'd faint, drop over, and like just see, okay, what else can I get? Like, that's insane value.
Now, when I first started buying comic books when I was real small, they were 35 cents still.
Okay.
Off the spinner rack, So I was there for that.
And now, what a good comic will at least put you back $4, $4 or $5.
$4 to $5, yep.
Something like that. It's just nuts, the insane amount of value you got in these books, especially these annuals, where if you were a new fan and maybe you didn't know who Thor was yet, maybe you hadn't, because comics were different back in the 60s. There wasn't this online market that you could go and just buy any issue if you missed it. If you missed an issue of Thor, maybe you were just out of luck. And these annuals gave you a chance to get those stories back. So there's an original story between Thor and Hercules that is, like we've said, awesome. But the other stories are 4 previously shown Journey into Mystery stories. We get the first appearance of Loki is in here, the first appearance of the Radioactive Man, the battle with the demon duplicators, and Thor's showdown with the Lava Man are also in this issue. If you haven't heard of those stories, go check back in our Throwback series archives on the feed, and you can listen to me break down each one of those issues. The first appearance of Loki is a fun one. I will say that's the only one that I might go back and read at this point, because Loki is just, his first appearance is so bat crap insane. And we're gonna jump into the original story in this annual. It's one that we are very excited to talk about on the episode today, but let me give you the synopsis of this original story, and then I will tell you the roster of creators that were on board for this annual. The synopsis goes something like this. Thor and Loki have come across a pair of storm giants attacking the gateway from Asgard to Olympus. During the ensuing battle, Thor is accidentally transported to the fabled land of Olympus and finds himself in combat with the mighty Hercules. Neither party is willing to back down. After a titanic battle, Zeus stops the conflict and proclaims them both worthy allies and friends. Thor is sent back to Asgard, and Zeus closes the passage, quote, forever. So,
Quote.
yeah, this so the circumstance of this issue has been laid, and here is the roster of fabulous creators that brought this annual to us. It was a mighty story written by Stan Lee, majestic art by Jack Kirby, masterful inking by Vince Colletta, and mostly lettered by Sam Rosen.
Right in the heart, man.
Right,
in the heart.
Right in Eric's lettering heart.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know, Eric is a comic book creator himself, so the jabs at the lettering really get him.
My soul.
There's so much I want to say about this issue, and I feel like we just need to kind of share some of our impressions from this. Eric, if you just kind of want to go off the cuff with me here, and we can break down this fight. It was just so much fun to read.
Well, there's two things that I want to get to right off the bat.
Absolutely,
right off the bat. Number one, apparently you can travel to Olympus from Asgard. Well, not just Asgard. You can travel to Olympus from Jotunheim.
Very true, because they're not in Asgard to start the day. They're in
Jotunheim.
They're in Jotunheim.
So, in Jotunheim, there is a portal to Olympus. So it's not a portal to one of the other 9 worlds of Norse cosmology. It's a portal to Olympus.
Okay? Yes.
So that's the number one thing. And number two, the storm giants. So we've been seeing storm giants in Thor forever.
Yes.
The storm giants in here, Thor himself says, the legends tell us that the storm giants were hurled out of Olympus ages ago. So the storm giants that we have been reading about in Thor are not native to Jotunheim.
Oh,
they are Olympian giants who have been exiled to Jotunheim.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even pick up on that. Didn't pick up on that. Fantastic. So kind of connecting the mythologies through this, not only the portal between the Asgardian 9 realms to Olympus, but also that people from the Olympian realm have transported themselves over at some point. Right.
And are living there. So beings that we thought were native to the Asgardian world, the storm giants, which I always thought were just another race of giants in Jotunheim, like the frost giants.
Yeah, exactly.
They're Olympian.
Which
so
is
like, what?
A really cool kind of pickup for those of you that may be more familiar with how the 9 realms work in Thor comics. That is kind of a little bit of a curveball that Stan and Jack throw in here at us. I actually want to read this as Thor is falling through the barrier to Olympus. This is the narration and the thoughts that Thor shares. The narration goes something like this. Thus the thunder god falls for time without end through a vast void of heavy nothingness, of shimmering energy barriers and mystic space disruptors until he realizes, and this is Thor saying this is no ordinary fall. I have unwittingly been chased through the hidden entrance to Olympus. And he arrives on Olympus and he sees different creatures that are unfamiliar to him, and he's kind of taken aback as to where he is. And then he comes to a bridge and he wants to pass over this bridge, but someone is blocking his way.
Right.
And
One second.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
1 second. As we go back to Thor falling through the dimensional barrier,
yes,
to Olympus, the coloring of the panel, even though he's falling from Asgard to Olympus, it's still rainbow colored. So it's still almost a Bifrost.
Very true. Very true. It's a very cool coloring there. It looks like almost like highlighter swipes.
Exactly.
up and down. Yeah. So yeah, but it's very reminiscent of the Bifrost that we're familiar with from Thor comics, and even Thor movies. This is kind of the one that gave
Yep.
me a vibe of how they portray the Bifrost in the Marvel Cinematic movies.
Very much so. Very much.
Well, we come to this bridge, and the person that's blocking the bridge is none other than the mighty Hercules. So Hercules is a figure from Greek mythology. He's a public domain, character that Stan and Jack could, and as well as Thor is. Maybe some people don't know that these days, that Marvel's version of Thor is taken from him being a public domain character. He's, if someone wanted to go out today and create their own version of Thor, they could do it, as long as maybe it wasn't as, it's not a picture perfect remake of the Marvel Thor. But
Right. He
Hercules is
can't look
similar.
like Marvel Thor, and you can't actually make a comic called Thor because Marvel has the trademark to that. So you can have Thor in the book. You just
Yeah,
can't name him on the cover, and he can't look like Marvel's Thor.
which I'm sure, have being a comic creator, have you run into that, where that from experience, or have you just avoided it altogether?
Well, I haven't done anything that would get me in trouble, but I have
Yeah,
friends who have each made a version of Thor
yeah,
for their own stories. And trust me, they don't look anything like Marvel's version. Most of them are far more Viking looking.
yeah. More the historical mythological kind of look of him, where it's
Yeah,
more
like
red beard.
if you've watched the TV show Vikings, and
Yeah.
if you're familiar with the character of Ragnar Lothbrok,
Yes, I am.
a friend of mine, yeah, his Thor was very much inspired by the way Ragnar looks.
Okay.
So
That's a cool, that the very cool inspiration. That
yeah,
shows fantastic. Um, but Hercules is similar, where Hercules can, the Marvel Hercules is different. Maybe some of you know Hercules from the live action movies that have been done, or the Disney cartoon. This Hercules looks a lot different. He's much more superheroic in his look, and he and Thor have this, honestly, Eric, a very petty fight.
oh, very much.
So there, here's the dialogue that starts this titanic battle, and then I want to hear kind of, what maybe some of Eric's favorite moments were, because I definitely have my own. As Thor approaches the bridge, he thinks to himself, "But I must seek a way back to the Golden City. I shall cross that crude bridge and seek information from the one who stands thus boldly." Hercules responds with, "Hold, come no further. You may cross yon bridge only after Hercules has done so." So Hercules is not guarding the bridge. He just wants to cross the bridge first.
Hmm.
And Thor responds with, "If there be room for only one to cross it at a time, then that one shall be Thor, who backs off to no man. Hercules, the madness must be upon thee to dare to defy the will of Hercules." These
Their
two guys,
egos are both so huge.
they're fighting over walking across a bridge. That's
Bridge.
where this fight begins. And boy, does it begin, because Hercules then flips the bridge on him.
Hmm.
Now nobody can cross the bridge, Hercules. Fantastic.
And this fight has to take place in the past before Thor was made into Donald Blake,
Yeah.
because for as arrogant as he is, there's no way that this is the Thor who's learned humility.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is brash young Thor.
Oh yeah. But what I mean, the fight that the two of them have is great. Lots of quips and blows and stuff like that. Um, but two things that sort of stand out to me. Number
Yeah.
one, in a lot of ways, to a certain degree, it almost looks like Thor is jobbed by Hercules for this story.
Yes.
Just that typical, like, okay, here's the new character, so we're going to have him smack the old character around to show how cool they are. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
so there's that to begin with, and secondly, uh, I lost my train of thought.
No worries. The So some of the
I know Hercules. He
yeah.
seems to be a far better hand-to-hand combatant than Thor.
Yes. It, one thing that is you mentioned like their fighting styles and how they combat each other. We know Thor as having Mjolnir, the mystical Uru hammer. Hercules also has his version of that. He has a enchanted mallet that is it kind of I like more the modern version of what they did with the mallet because it looks more like a club, a big like
Yes.
bald club. This one almost looks like it's really thin and very slender, very Jack Kirby-esque. It's very ornate in its design. It's beautiful, but I just don't know how good of a weapon it is.
Doesn't he? If I'm remembering correctly, isn't it called the Golden Mace or his
Ooh,
adamantine mace?
you know what? I am gonna research real quick, but it sounds right. And usually when something sounds right, I tend to go with it. Um yeah, it is the golden mace is what I've found. It's the golden mace that he had. Yeah, adamantine.
Adamantine.
So
Yeah, yeah. And there was one more thing, and this is way back at the beginning of the story. I had forgot
absolutely.
to mention this. Chris Eberly always says that whenever Stanley repeats something 3 times, it's for emphasis. At the
Yes.
beginning of the story, the very first caption, he says, "Ever eager for adventure, mighty Thor enters the forbidden land of Jotunheim with his half brother Loki at his side. Jotunheim, where the storm giants dwell. Jotunheim, where the powerful enemies of Asgard assemble." So
Yes.
there's that repeating for emphasis, you
Yes.
know.
And
Sorry, go back.
no. A masterful inclusion of friend of the show, Chris Eberly. I will never turn down a Chris Eberly reference in any episode we do. So yeah, great catch there of that writing device that Stan he employs there to get a point across. That's really great pickup. I got to get to one of my favorite few panels here because the fight they soon start fighting in very unorthodox ways because we expect these two brutes to fight with their weapons and to punch each other, and they do a lot of that. But when when it comes to using what's around them, it gets a little more comical, and it's fantastic. So at one point, Thor and Hercules come upon a pole, and Hercules grabs the pole, bends it around Thor, and he says he says none but Hercules can bend the enchanted pole of heroes because it's got to have a fancy name. Uh,
Everything's got to have a name.
exactly. It shall make thee my prisoner. Thor responds with, "Fie! You utter the mouthings of a jester." Hercules responds with, "Your words are bold, golden stranger, but the strength of Hercules has indeed defeated thee." And Thor, of course, breaks the pole of heroes that's wrapped around him. He says, "Thor
Thor?
defeated by Hercules? Never!"
Never.
And and a great Kirby-esque panel where all the pieces and the shards of the pole that have been wrapped around him come shooting at you, the reader. And fantastic. It's just great. Um, the next page though is my favorite moment in the entire annual. Uh, Eric, I'm wondering if you also appreciated this very slapstick Three Stooges approach to how Thor fights Hercules in the next panel.
I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, it's a Looney Tunes device where they just kind of
Right? Yeah.
crack the
Gosh,
ground like a carpet.
it's so Looney Tunes. So Thor has been thrown to the ground, and he says, "You have done your utmost. Now you shall feel the power of the thunder god once more." And then the narration says this: "Seizing the very ground with which lies beneath them, mighty Thor's steel-like fingers peel off an entire section of sod, cracking it like a gigantic bullwhip." And he does like a pull out the carpet thing to
Yes.
Hercules, and you just see Hercules's legs flying out of frame.
Yoink.
Oh God, yeah. I feel like there should have been a sound thing. There's like yoink.
Exactly.
Oh, so great. And the slapstick continues because immediately after Hercules has hit the ground, Thor, of course, has a retort where he says, "And now and now to bring this to the end, those rocks cannot stop Thor." Hercules has grabbed these two stones, and Hercules says, "In the hands of Hercules, they are no more rocks." And he smashes them together to kind of like, I don't know, make them a powder, and they go into Thor's eyes. Again, this is complete slapstick. It ceased being a fight pages ago. It's them having a slapstick comedic fight.
It's like that old, the oldest trick in the book in a fight where you like throw dirt from the ground in your opponent's eyes to blind
Right.
them. But with
Yes.
Hercules, he smashes two stones together to create the powder to do that.
It's fantastic. But then the fight ends because Zeus shows up. And much like Odin, he says, "Let the fighting cease." And the two younger gods, they bow in reverence and respect, and they finally have a civil conversation. And it's that standard Marvel thing where it's heroes that miscommunicate that
Mm.
leads to a big fight. It's
Yep.
really the genesis of every Hulk fight ever, because they can't slow down and take time to communicate. They've got to fight to the death over, for these guys, walking across the bridge first,
Yep.
like
Yep.
a bunch of young children.
That
um
whole fight then team up uh, trope.
yeah, exactly. They end as friends. Thor says, "Now I must to my own kingdom return, for many are the tasks that await me." And Zeus says to him, "Then return you shall, for the will of Zeus is supreme in imperial Olympus." He's written very similar to Odin.
Mm.
And Thor returns to Jotunheim, and Loki is there to help him. Loki he had escaped while the storm giants had attacked them in the beginning of the book. And Loki was, of course, he was out searching for help. Eric, he wanted to do the right thing. He was trying to be the
I
good
love
brother.
I love the expression on his face. He's like got his head up, looking down his nose. Why, I was just out looking for help.
Exactly. On the last page of the story, we see that Odin has collapsed the entrance uh, to Olympus. So supposedly this is a forever closing of that entrance. But we do know we're going to see more of Hercules. We're going to see more of Zeus in the future, especially in Thor comics. Hercules almost becomes like a supporting character in Thor's adventures. So that concludes the main story of this annual. Eric, did you have any final thoughts maybe to share with the listeners before we get to some of the add-on things that were in this annual?
Not as such. I mean,
Okay.
just, with Thor saying, Zeus has created a mountain to forever seal off the hidden entrance to his realm. But someday I shall learn more of that land where immortals dwell. Someday I shall again meet Hercules.
I,
So,
yeah, it's fantastic, very self-contained story.
yes.
If you enjoy Thor, if you enjoy Loki to a degree, and you wanted to know more about Hercules, this gives you a really fun primer of learning more about the Olympian gods in Marvel Comics. So this is a great place to start. I highly recommend this annual, but there are a few other things that Eric and I wanted to talk about on this special annual episode. And one of them is the fantastic map of Asgard that we get. The cityscape of Asgard. Eric and I were just blown away by this. It
Oh,
is
it's so beautiful.
to give you a little bit of a explanation. I'll read the narration that was given on the top of the first page. Month after month, we have shown the scenes of Odin's imperial palace, the fabled Rainbow Bridge, the deadly lands of the trolls, the storm giants, and so forth. But now, to celebrate our first great Thor annual, we present a simple, ordinary, typical Asgardian street scene, as the average Asgardian sees it day after day. And Eric, what are some of the things that are on this map that an average everyday Asgardian would have seen?
Oh, nothing, nothing special. Just, the Yggdrasil, the tree of life in the middle of it, and this towering monument to the unknown warrior. A museum of weaponry.
Yeah,
You know, things that look like monorails. I mean, just
it's a giant futuristic city.
it's
Like,
beautiful. I mean, it's typical Kirby Asgard, so it's very much a futuristic city, like you said. But it's like if this is the city center, this is gorgeous.
yeah, there's a kind of an aesthetic known as like steampunk or cyberpunk. This is
Mm.
what I call Norse punk.
Yeah,
This is like Norse Kirby punk, and
no,
it's
absolutely.
just so great. I told Eric off camera that I want this as a poster in my studio.
You and
That
me
would just
both.
be so amazing. And then at the bottom right corner, it there's a little arrow that says to the shopping center. But we don't
I love
actually
the
see it.
I love the compass on the previous page. It points up for north, east, west, and then instead of south, it's to earth.
To Earth. So we know geographically Earth is south of Asgard.
Yes, yes.
Oh man. So needless to say, listeners, we have had a lot of fun talking about this annual. It is a great story. When I reached out to Eric a few weeks back to do these, to set up this up, I was like, we get to do the first appearance of Hercules. It's so great. I had not
Yeah, it is.
read the first appearance of Hercules, and it's not going to be his last. It's far from his last. I think he actually shows up in a few issues, so you won't have to wait long to get more Hercules in your life, listeners.
Right.
We have come to the end where we tell you if you should read it or leave it. Yeah, I feel like I've been saying in my own way, I've been saying read it the entire episode. So, Eric, should they
Uh,
read it or leave it?
oh, they absolutely should read this. I mean, the main story, when you count the pages, is only 15 pages long.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's not even the full issue's worth of story. It's only 15 pages, and look at how much they did and how developed they made the characters in that short period.
Yeah, and really they're having a fight, but they're having a conversation where they're trying to best each other. There's no real plot to this.
Right.
I mean, again, they're fighting over who would go across the bridge first.
Yep. Yep.
And yet we learn so much about them in this. But yeah, listeners, definitely go and read this. This is probably the one that I can highest recommend since we started doing these outside of like first appearances of Loki and Thor himself. This is a really great issue. I
I
think this
agree.
also it stands the test of time.
Mm.
Some of these issues don't stand the test of time, but I would still recommend you read them. This one in 2022 is still a fun read. It's
Oh, I loved
still
it. I
fun.
loved every minute of it.
I every panel I laughed. It was hokey and fun, but not in a way where I was like, oh, I don't want to show anybody that I read this comic. Like I like this one. Our social media will probably be all this issue the week that this comes out. So definitely go read this. And as we head out on this episode today, I want to also encourage you to check out our Patreon. We've got a lot of great stuff going up there routinely now. Every few weeks, I'm putting up something that you can enjoy. Also, share this episode with a friend. This is really one of my favorite ways to do episodes, talking with another person that loves Thor, that's a friend of mine who wants to just dig into these books, whether they're new comics or old comics. Today, we had just a fun conversation about a fun comic. And that is really like, for me, that's at the heart of why I love comic books. So do yourself a favor, share this episode with a friend, and maybe you and your friend can go read this annual and have a conversation like Eric and I just did. That's what we would want for you. That's what we hope for you. So share this with a friend, go check out our Patreon. And as we leave you today, I want to say wherever you're at in the 9 realms, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, whatever you've been up to, maybe you had a great week, maybe you had a bad week, and you just need something to pick you up. I hope Eric and I have done that for you today. If you've had a great week, hopefully this made your week even better. So I hope that this episode has been enjoyable for you. For myself, for Eric, I want to say thank you again for joining us aboard the Bifrost. And until next time, dear listeners, stay worthy.